Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship. The ship was called the U.E.'s Healing Light. It was huge, over 2 kilometers long. But this ship was different from other ships. It had no weapons. Instead, it had medical rooms everywhere. Hundreds of them. Jake looked out at the stars. They were moving past his ship as it traveled through space. He had been the captain of this hospital ship for 3 years now. In that time, he had seen many things, good things and bad things. But he always remembered why he was here. Dr. Lisa Carter walked up to him. She was the chief doctor on the ship. She looked tired. Her white coat had small stains on it from working all day. She carried a data pad in her hands. "Captain, we have a problem," she said. "Actually, it's more like 14 problems." Jake turned to look at her. "What do you mean?" 14 different alien species are asking for our help. There's a sickness spreading through the Kepler 442 system. It's killing everyone it touches. It doesn't care if you're human, alien, or something else. Jake nodded. This was what they did. The healing light went to places where people were hurt or sick. They helped everyone. It didn't matter who they were or what they looked like. "How bad is it?" Jake asked. Lisa looked at her datapad. "Very bad. The sickness started 3 weeks ago. It began on a mining planet. Now it's on 12 different worlds. The locals can't stop it. Their medicine isn't working." Jake made his decision quickly. "Set course for Kepler 442. Send word to all departments. We're going to help." The healing light had been in this part of space for 3 months. This area was dangerous. 2 big groups were fighting each other. The Zephyrian Empire and the Crystalline Collective had been at war for 5 years. Both sides had powerful weapons. Both sides had killed many people. But Earth had a rule. Medical ships would help anyone who needed help. Friend or enemy, it didn't matter. If someone was hurt, humans would try to heal them. Nurse Commander Ryan Phillips was in Medical Base 7. He was helping a wounded crystalline soldier. The soldier looked like a living crystal. His arm was broken, and blue liquid came from the wound. "This was his blood. Don't worry," Ryan said softly. "We'll fix your arm. You'll be able to go home soon." The crystal soldier looked at him with large, purple eyes. "Why do you help me? Your people and mine are not friends." Ryan smiled. "Because you're hurt. That's the only reason we need." This happened every day on the healing light, the medical. Teams treated soldiers from both sides of the war. Sometimes wounded enemies lay in beds next to each other. The human doctors and nurses helped them all. In Surgery Room 15, Dr. Lisa Carter was working on a Zephyrian officer. The Zephyrians looked like tall, thin humans, but their skin was gray, and they had 4 arms. This officer had been hurt badly. In a space battle. "Doctor," the officer said weakly. "My ship. My crew. "Don't talk," Lisa said. "Save your strength. We're going to help you." The officer's eyes were full of pain. "But I am your enemy. My people fight your people." Lisa looked at him while she worked. "Not in here. In here, you're just someone who needs help." The healing light had saved thousands of lives. They had helped people from 17 different species. Some of these species had never seen humans before. Others had heard stories about the strange beings from Earth who helped everyone. Chief Engineer Paul Jenkins was in the engine room. He made sure the ship could travel through space. He also made sure the life support systems worked. These systems gave everyone air to breathe and water to drink. Paul was proud of his work. The healing light was the most advanced hospital ship ever built. It had the best medical equipment. It had rooms that could treat any type of alien. It even had special areas for beings who breathed different gases. "Sir," one of his workers said, "the power systems are running perfectly. All medical." Bays have full power. Paul smiled. Good. Keep it that way. Lives depend on our work. Communications Officer Amy Walsh sat at her station on the bridge. She talked to people on other ships and planets. Today, she was getting many calls for help. Captain, she said to Jake, I'm getting distress signals from the Tau Ceti system. It sounds like the sickness has spread there too. Jake felt heavy in his heart. The sickness was spreading faster than they could travel. But they would try to help everyone they could. How many people are sick? He asked. Amy looked at her screens. Reports say over 1 million people are sick, and the number is growing every hour. Dr. Carter came back to the bridge. Captain, we need to hurry. I've been reading about this sickness. It kills people in days, not weeks. Jake nodded. Then we'll go to Tau Ceti first. They need us most. The healing light changed course. Its engines hummed quietly as it moved through space. Inside, hundreds of medical workers got ready for what was coming. They would work day and night to save lives. None of them knew that this would be their last mission. None of them knew that someone was watching them. Someone who hated the idea of humans helping their enemies. The ship traveled through the dark of space. Its white hull had red crosses painted on it. These symbols told everyone that this was a medical ship. It was not a weapon of war. It was a tool of healing. But some people don't care about symbols. Some people don't care about rules. And some people think that showing mercy is the same as being weak. The healing light continued toward Tau Ceti. Captain Morrison and his crew were ready to save lives. They had no idea that someone was ready to take theirs. The alarm started ringing at 0347 hours. Captain Jake Morrison woke up in his small room near the bridge. The sound meant danger. He put on his uniform quickly and ran to the bridge. What's happening? He asked Amy Walsh, who was at her station. 3 ships just appeared, Captain. They came out of hyperspace very close to us. Too close. Jake looked at the main screen. 3 dark ships hung in space near them. They were Zephyrian destroyers. These were warships, built for fighting. They had many weapons. Are they responding to our calls? Jake asked. Amy shook her head. No, sir. I've been trying to talk to them for 2 minutes. They're not answering. Jake felt worried. The healing light was in neutral space. They had permission to be here. They were helping sick people, not fighting. Anyone, send them a message on all frequencies, Jake ordered. Tell them who we are. Amy pressed buttons on her control panel. This is the UE's healing light. We are a hospital ship. We have no weapons. We are carrying wounded people from many species. Please respond. The answer came as bright flashes of light. The Zephyrian ships had fired their weapons. Plasma bolts hit the healing light's hull. The ship shook hard. People fell down. Lights flickered. Shields are down to 60%, Paul Jenkins reported from the engine room. They're targeting our medical bays. Jake couldn't believe it. Amy, send the message again. Make sure they understand we're a medical ship. This is the UE's healing light, Amy said into her microphone. We are a hospital ship under interstellar medical conventions. We are unarmed and carrying wounded from multiple species. Please stop firing. The only answer was more weapons fire. This time, the attack was stronger. The ship shook so hard that people couldn't stand up. Alarms rang everywhere. Dr. Lisa Carter was in Surgery Bay 7. She was working on a wounded, crystalline soldier when the first attack happened. The lights went out for a moment. Then emergency lighting came on. It was red and made everything look scary. What's happening? Asked her nurse, Helen Brooks. I don't know, Lisa said, but we have to keep working. This patient will die if we stop. The ship shook again. This time, it was much worse. A piece of the ceiling fell down. It missed. Lisa by inches. "Doctor," Helen said, "maybe we should move the patient." Lisa looked at the soldier on the table. She was halfway through the operation. If she stopped now, he would die. "No, we finish this. Help me hold him steady." Throughout the ship, medical workers kept doing their jobs. They had trained for this. Even if the ship was under attack, they would not stop helping their patients. Ryan Phillips was helping evacuate patients from medical Bay 12. The bay had been hit by the enemy weapons. The wall had a big hole in it. Air was escaping into space. "Everyone stay calm," Ryan shouted over the noise. "We're moving you to a safe area." A wounded Zephyrian soldier was on one of the beds. He was hurt badly, but he was trying to help. "Let me walk," he said. "Give my bed to someone who needs it more." Ryan looked at him with surprise. This soldier was from the same species that was attacking them, but he wanted to help. "Thank you," Ryan said, "but you're hurt too. We'll take care of everyone." The wounded from both sides of the war started helping each other. Crystalline soldiers carried stretchers. Zephyrian officers helped human nurses. In the face of death, old enemies became friends. Paul Jenkins was fighting to keep the ship alive. Every time the enemy fired, more systems failed. The life support was failing. The artificial gravity was not working right. "Captain," he said over the communication system, "I'm losing power to the medical base. If this continues, everyone will die." Jake Morrison felt angry and helpless. His ship had no weapons. He couldn't fight back. All he could do was try to protect his people. "Amy, try to contact Earth," he ordered. "Tell them what's happening." Amy's fingers moved fast over her controls. "I'm trying, Captain. But they're jamming our communications." The attacks continued. The Zephyrian ships seemed to enjoy what they were doing. They were not trying to destroy the healing light quickly. They were taking their time. They were making it suffer. In medical Bay 3, Dr. Carter was still working on the crystalline soldier. The ship shook again. This time, part of the medical equipment fell over. "We're losing him," Helen said. "His heart is stopping." Lisa worked faster. She had been a doctor for 15 years. She had saved thousands of lives. She was not going to lose this patient now. "Get me the emergency stimulator," she said. "And more blue blood." "He's losing too much." The ship shook again. This time, the lights went out completely. Emergency power came on a few seconds later, but it was too late. The soldier's heart had stopped. "No," Lisa said softly. "Come on, don't give up." She worked for 10 more minutes, but it was no use. The soldier was dead. Another victim of the attack. Captain Morrison got a report from all over the ship. The news was bad, very bad. "Medical Bay 12 is completely destroyed," Ryan reported. 37 people died instantly. Patients and staff. "Medical Bay 8 is losing air," Paul said. "I'm trying to seal it, but the hole is too big." "Medical Bay 15 is on fire," Dr. Carter reported. "We're moving the patients, but some are too hurt to move." Jake closed his eyes for a moment. These were not soldiers. These were doctors and nurses. These were sick and wounded people who couldn't fight back. "Amy," he said, "are you getting through to Earth?" "I'm trying, Captain. I think I can get a message through, but it will take time." "Do it. Tell them what happened here. Tell them that someone attacked a hospital ship. Tell them that we died trying to help people." Amy worked at her station. Her hands were shaking. She was scared, but she had a job to do. The attacks continued for another hour. The Zephyrian ships were careful. They hit the medical bays first. Then they hit the life support systems. They wanted everyone to die slowly. Ryan Phillips was in Medical Bay 6 when the final attack came. He was helping a wounded human engineer when the wall exploded. The blast threw him across the room. When he woke up, he was lying on the floor. His leg was broken. There was blood on his face. Around him, he could hear people crying for help. "Is anyone alive?" he called out. "Here," said a weak voice. It was the human engineer. "I'm hurt, but I'm alive." Ryan tried to stand up, but his leg wouldn't work. He crawled across the floor to help the engineer. "Don't worry," Ryan said. "We'll get through this." But deep down, he knew they wouldn't. The ship was dying, and everyone on it was dying too. Captain Morrison made his final log entry. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the UES Healing Light. We are under attack by Zephyrian forces. They are targeting our medical bays. We have done nothing wrong. We were helping their wounded as well as everyone else's, but they don't care. They're killing doctors and nurses. They're killing sick people who can't fight back. Tell Earth what happened here. Tell them that we died doing what we believed was right. The ship's reactor was failing. Paul Jenkins had done everything he could, but the damage was too much. The ship was going to explode. Jake Morrison sat in his captain's chair. Around him, his bridge crew worked until the end. They were trying to save as many people as possible. "Captain," Amy said, "I got the message through. Earth will know what happened." Jake nodded. "Good. That's all we can do now." The UE's healing light exploded at 0623 hours. The explosion was so bright that it could be seen from 3 star systems away. 847 medical workers died. 1,200 patients from 17 different species died with them. But the message reached Earth, and Earth would remember. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood in the war room deep under the Colorado mountains. The room was huge and dark. Blue lights from computer screens lit up her face. She had been in this room for 6 hours now. 6 hours since the message from the healing. Light arrived. The message was short, but it changed everything. Hospital ship under attack by Zephyrian forces. They're targeting the medical bays. Tell Earth what they did here. Kate looked at the screens around her. They showed star maps, ship positions, and military reports. For the first time in 20 years, all of Earth's military forces were moving at the same time. General Ben Martinez walked up to her. He was a big man with gray hair. He had fought in wars before, but never like this. "The Zephyrians are saying it was a mistake," he said. His voice was cold and angry. "They claimed they didn't know it was a hospital ship." Kate turned to look at it. "Him, do you believe that?" "No, I've seen the recordings. The attack lasted almost 3 hours. They targeted the medical bays first. They wanted to kill the doctors and nurses. They wanted to kill the patients." Kate nodded. She had seen the recordings too. The attack was planned. It was deliberate. It was evil. "What do we know about the Zephyrian Empire?" she asked. Colonel Sarah Williams stepped forward. She was the head of Earth's special operations. She knew things that most people didn't know. "They control 200 star systems," Sarah said. "They have 30,000 ships. Their military is strong, but they made one mistake." "What mistake?" "They think we're weak. They think that because we help people, we can't hurt people. They're wrong." Kate walked to the center of the room. Around her, dozens of military officers worked at computer stations. They were planning something that had never been done before. "Show me what we have," Kate said. Sarah pressed a button. The screens changed. Now they showed Earth's secret military assets, things that most people didn't know existed. "We have 47 stealth frigates already in position throughout Zephyrian space. We put them there 3 years ago, just in case. We have deep space reconnaissance ships watching every major Zephyrian fleet. We know where their ships are. We know where their bases are. We know where their leaders live." Kate studied the information. Earth had been preparing for this day, even though they hoped it would never come. "What about our production facilities?" she asked. "We have shipyards in 12 different star systems. They've been building warships for 10 years. The public thinks they're building more hospital ships. They're not." General Martinez pulled up another screen. "We have 500 destroyers ready to launch. We have 50 battleships. We have 200 carriers with 20,000 fighter ships. And we have something else." "What?" "Planet killers. 12 of them. Each one can destroy a world." Kate felt the weight of command. These weapons had been built to protect Earth and its colonies. But they had never been used. Earth had always chosen peace over war. "The Earth Defense Council is meeting in 1 hour," she said. "I need recommendations." Dr. Andrew Clark entered the room. He had been the deputy medical director of the Healing Light. He was supposed to be on the ship, but he had been on leave visiting his family on Earth. "Admiral," he said, "I need to tell you something." Kate turned to him. "What is it, Doctor?" "Lisa Carter was my friend. She was the best doctor I ever knew. When the attack started, she was operating on a Zephyrian prisoner of war. She could have stopped. She could have tried to save herself. But she didn't. She kept working until the end." Dr. Clark's voice was shaking. "Ryan Phillips was carrying wounded enemies to safety when he died. These people represented the best of humanity. They showed mercy to everyone, and they were killed for it." Kate listened to every word. "What do you want me to do, Doctor?" "I want you to show them what happens when you kill the good people. I want you to show them what the rest of humanity is capable of." The Earth Defense Council met in the government building in Geneva. Representatives from every human colony attended by video link. President Robert Hayes led the meeting. "We are here to decide how humanity will respond to the attack on the Healing Light," he said. 847 of our people died. 1,200 patients died with them. These were not soldiers. These were healers. The room was quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. "The Zephyrians have offered to pay compensation," the president continued. "They say it was an accident. They want us to forget this happened." "Admiral," Sullivan stood up. "Mr. President, I don't think we should forget. I think we should remember. And I think we should make sure that everyone else remembers too." "What are you suggesting, Admiral?" "I'm suggesting that we show the galaxy what happens when you attack a hospital ship. I'm suggesting that we remove the Zephyrian Empire from existence." The representatives talked among themselves. This was not an easy decision. Earth had always been peaceful, but peace had not protected their medical ships. "Admiral," said the representative from Mars Colony, "how many people would die?" "Their military forces would be destroyed. Their government would be removed. But we would evacuate civilians first. We're not like them. We don't kill innocent people." The representative from Europa Station asked, "What about the other species? What will they think?" "They'll think that humanity protects its healers. They'll think that attacking a hospital ship is the same as declaring war on Earth itself." The vote was unanimous. Earth would respond with full military force. President Hayes made the announcement to the galaxy. The attack on the UE's Healing Light was an act of war against all civilized beings. Hospital ships are sacred. They help everyone without asking questions. By attacking one, the Zephyrian Empire has shown that they reject the basic rules of awe. Civilized behavior. He paused for a moment. Effective immediately, the Zephyrian Empire is considered a hostile force. All human colonies are ordered to defend themselves. All human military forces are authorized to use any means necessary to eliminate this threat. The message was broadcast to every world, every ship, every space station in the galaxy. Everyone heard it. Everyone understood what it meant. Admiral Sullivan returned to the war room. Now it was time to act. "How long until we're ready?" she asked. "All forces are in position," Sarah reported. "We can begin the attack in 6 hours." "What about the evacuation ships?" "They're already on their way to Zephyrian worlds. We'll get the civilians out before we attack." Kate looked at the screens one more time. She thought about Lisa Carter and Ryan Phillips. She thought about all the people who had died on the healing light. "They killed our healers," she said quietly. "They killed people who were trying to help everyone, including their own people. They made a choice. Now we make ours." She turned to face the room. "All units, this is Admiral Sullivan. Operation Righteous Fury is authorized. Repeat, Operation Righteous Fury is authorized." Across the galaxy, human ships began to move. They came out of hiding places where they had waited for years. They powered up weapons that no one knew existed. The Zephyrian Empire had 200 star systems and 30,000 ships. But they had never fought Earth. They had never seen what humans could do. When they stopped being healers and started being warriors, they were about to learn. The attack began at exactly 1200 hours Earth time. Across 200 star systems, human ships appeared as if from nowhere. They had been hiding in deep space, waiting for this moment. Commander Nick Roberts sat in his fighter cockpit inside the stealth carrier USS Retribution. Around him, 200 other pilots prepared for launch. They were about to attack the Zephyrian capital system. "All pilots, this is Commander Roberts. Remember why we're here. They killed our healers. They killed innocent people. Today, we make them pay." The carrier's launch bay doors opened. One by one, the fighters shot out into space. They were invisible to Zephyrian sensors. The enemy had no idea what was coming. The Zephyrian capital world had 12 space stations around it. Each station had powerful weapons and shields. The Zephyrians thought they were safe behind their defenses. They were wrong. Nick's fighter was the first to attack. He fired a quantum disruption torpedo at the largest space station. The weapon hit the station's shield generator. The shields flickered and died. "Station 1 shields are down," he reported. "All fighters, attack pattern Alpha." The human fighters swarmed the space stations. Their weapons were more advanced than anything the Zephyrians had seen. The stations exploded, one by one. "This is impossible," said the Zephyrian admiral in charge of the defense. "Where did they get these weapons?" His question was answered when the USS Retribution appeared. The carrier was huge, bigger than any Zephyrian ship. Its weapons charged with a blue light. "Zephyrian fleet, this is Captain Emma Davis of the USS Retribution. You have 30 seconds to surrender before we destroy you." The Zephyrian admiral was angry. "You cannot defeat us. We have 500 ships in this system." "You had 500 ships," Captain Davis replied. "Now you have less." The Retribution fired its main weapon. A beam of energy shot across space and hit the Zephyrian flagship. The ship exploded instantly. In the Proxima Zephyr system, Captain Alex Thompson watched from the bridge of the USS Vengeance. This was Earth's newest destroyer. It carried a weapon that had never been used before. "Captain," his weapons officer said, "the planet killer is charged and ready." Alex looked at the planet below. It was covered with factories that made Zephyrian warships. These factories had built the ships that attacked the healing light. "Evacuate all human personnel from the planet," Alex ordered. "Make sure our people are safe." "All human personnel have been evacuated, sir." Alex took a deep breath. "Fire the planet killer." The weapon charged for 30 seconds. Then it fired. A beam of pure energy shot down from the ship. It hit the planet's surface and kept going. It went through the crust and into the core. Planet began to break apart. The factories, the shipyards, the military bases, everything was destroyed. The planet cracked like an egg. Lava and rock shot into space. Target destroyed, the weapons officer reported. Move to the next target, Alex said. We have work to do. The war was happening everywhere at once. In the Tau Eridani system, human ships attacked a Zephyrian fleet of 800 vessels. The battle lasted only 20 minutes. When it was over, all 800 Zephyrian ships were destroyed. In the Wolf 359 system, human ground forces landed on 3 Zephyrian worlds, but they weren't there to fight. They were there to evacuate civilians. Colonel Gary Foster led the evacuation of New Zephyria. His soldiers moved through the cities, helping families get to safety. "Why are you helping us?" asked a young Zephyrian mother. "We are your enemies." "You're not our enemy," Gary said. "Your government is our enemy. You're just people trying to live your lives." The evacuation ships were filled with Zephyrian families. They were taken to neutral worlds where they would be safe. Earth was destroying the Zephyrian military, but they were saving the innocent people. Lieutenant Commander Tracy Morgan worked in the Cyber Warfare Center on Earth. Her job was to shut down Zephyrian communications and computer systems. "I'm inside their main computer network," she reported. "I can see everything they're doing." "What do you see?" asked her supervisor. "They're panicking. They're trying to call for help, but I'm blocking their signals. They're trying to coordinate their fleets, but I'm sending them false information. They don't know what's happening." Tracy's fingers moved quickly over her keyboard. She was fighting the war with computer code instead of weapons. "Their ships are getting lost," she said. "They can't talk to each other. They're shooting at shadows." In space, Zephyrian ships wandered blindly. Their navigation systems were broken. Their communication systems were jammed. They couldn't tell friend from enemy. Human ships appeared out of nowhere and destroyed them. Then they disappeared again. The Zephyrians were fighting an enemy they couldn't see or understand. The Zephyrian Emperor called an emergency meeting. He was old and proud. He had ruled for 50 years. He had never lost a war. "How many ships have we lost?" he asked his generals. 8,000, Your Majesty. And the number is growing every hour. "What about our allies? Can they help us?" "They're afraid, Your Majesty. They say that fighting Earth is too dangerous." The Emperor slammed his hand on the table. "This is impossible. They're just healers. They don't have an army." "They do now, Your Majesty, and it's bigger than ours." The Emperor tried to contact Earth. He wanted to surrender, but the humans wouldn't answer his calls. On Earth, Admiral Sullivan watched the battle reports. The war was going better than expected. The Zephyrian military was falling apart. "Admiral," Sarah Williams reported, "the Zephyrians are trying to surrender." "Too late," Kate replied. "They had their chance to surrender when they attacked the healing light. Now they face the consequences." "What about the civilian evacuation?" "It's going well. We've evacuated over 50 million people so far. They're safe on neutral worlds." Kate looked at the battle map. Red dots showed where Zephyrian forces had been destroyed. There were hundreds of them. "How much longer?" she asked. "At this rate, the Zephyrian military will be completely destroyed in 48 hours. The war continued. Human ships struck at Zephyrian forces across the galaxy. The Zephyrians had never seen anything like it. They were being attacked by weapons they didn't understand, by strategies they couldn't counter. Captain Julie Adams commanded the destroyer USS Righteous. She was attacking a Zephyrian supply base when she received an unusual message. "Captain, we're getting a signal from the base. They want to surrender." Julie thought about the healing light. She thought about the doctors and nurses who had died. "Tell them to surrender to someone who cares," she said. Fire all weapons. The base exploded. Another piece of the Zephyrian war machine was gone dot. By the end of the second day, the Zephyrian Empire was finished. Their fleets were destroyed. Their bases were rubble. Their government was dead or captured. The war had lasted 72 hours. In that time, Earth had destroyed 25,000 Zephyrian ships. They had eliminated 200 military bases. They had captured or killed every Zephyrian leader. But they had saved 100 million Zephyrian civilians. The galaxy watched in shock. The peaceful humans had become the most powerful military force anyone had ever seen. They had destroyed an entire empire in 3 days. And they had done it to protect their hospital ships. The message was clear. If you attack a human medical ship, Earth will destroy you. Completely, quickly, without mercy. The Zephyrian Empire was gone. In its place was empty space and the memory of what happened when someone made the mistake of thinking that mercy was weakness. Earth had shown the galaxy something new. They had shown that sometimes the most peaceful people make the most dangerous enemies. 6 months had passed since the Zephyrian Empire was destroyed. The galaxy was a different place now. Everyone knew about Earth's hidden power. Everyone knew what happened when humans stopped being healers and started being warriors. The new UEC Healing Light 2 looked exactly like the old ship. Same size, same white hull, same red crosses painted on the sides. But this time, it was not alone. Captain Julie Adams stood on the bridge of the hospital ship. She had been a destroyer captain during the war. Now she commanded a medical ship. But she understood her job differently than Captain Morrison had. "Captain," said Communications Officer Danny Walsh, "we're getting a request for medical aid from the Vega system." Julie looked at the message. What kind of aid? Mining accident. 17 different species were hurt. They need surgery and medical care. How long to get there? 4 hours at maximum speed. Julie nodded. Set course for Vega and tell the escort ships to follow us. The escort ships were new. Every human hospital ship now traveled with a small fleet of warships. The galaxy had learned to respect the Red Cross, but Earth wasn't taking any chances. Dr. Karen White was the new chief medical officer. She had been chosen carefully. She was a skilled doctor, but she was also a former military officer. She understood both sides of humanity. "Doctor," said Nurse Commander Pete Johnson, "the patients are asking about our escort ships. They seem nervous." Karen looked out at the 3 destroyers flying next to the Healing Light 2. "Tell them the truth. We're here to help anyone who needs help. The warships are here to make sure no one stops us from helping." The escort ships were the USS Guardian, USS Protector, and USS Defender. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a small fleet. Their captains had orders to protect the hospital ship at all costs. As the ships approached the Vega system, they were met by a delegation from the Galactic Council. The Council was the closest thing to a government that existed in this part of space. Ambassador Zara Kef was a crystalline diplomat. She had been a patient on the original Healing Light. She was one of the few survivors of the attack. "Captain Adams," she said over the communication link, "it's good to see humanity return to its medical mission. Thank you, Ambassador. We never stopped being healers. We just had to remind some people why they should respect that. The galaxy has certainly learned that lesson. May I ask about your escort ships?" Julie looked at the destroyers flying beside her. "They're here to make sure what happened to the first Healing Light never happens again." Ambassador Kef understood. The galaxy supports this decision. No one wants to see another hospital ship attacked. When the medical ships arrived at Vega, something unusual happened. Ships from 12 different species were already there, offering help. They had heard about the mining accident and come to assist. "This is new," Dr. White said to Captain Adams. "Before the war, Most species didn't work together like this. Fear makes people cooperate, Julie replied. They're afraid that if they don't help each other, Earth might decide they're not worth protecting. The medical work began quickly. Human. Doctors worked alongside alien medics. The injured miners were treated with the best care possible. And through it all, the 3 escort ships watched silently. On the planet's surface, Dr. White worked on a badly injured Altarian miner. The alien looked like a giant insect with 4 arms. His green blood was everywhere. Doctor, the miner said weakly, are you really human? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? My people heard stories. They say humans destroyed an entire empire in 3 days. They say you have weapons that can break planets. Karen continued working on his wounds. We do. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because you're hurt and I can help you. But why help me? My species is not allied with yours. Karen looked at him while she worked. Because healing people is what we do. Fighting is what we do when someone tries to stop us from healing. People. News of the successful medical mission spread quickly. The galaxy watched as humans once again helped anyone who needed help. But now everyone understood the price of interfering. 3 weeks later, pirates attacked a convoy of medical supplies heading to a refugee camp. The supplies were being sent by the Healing Light, too, to help people displaced by the war. The pirates destroyed 2 cargo ships and killed 30 people. They thought they were safe because they were in neutral space. They were wrong. Captain Mike Torres of the USS Guardian received the news while escorting the Healing Light 2 to another mission. Captain Adams, he said, we have a problem. Pirates attacked our medical supply convoy. Julie felt anger rise in her chest. How many people died? 30. And they destroyed medicine that was meant for 10,000 refugees. Find them. It took the Guardian 6 hours to track down the pirates. They were hiding in an asteroid field, dividing up their stolen goods. They had no idea that death was coming for them. The Guardian appeared without warning, its weapons charged. Immediately. Pirate vessels, this is Captain Torres of the Earth Defense Fleet. You attacked a medical convoy. Surrender now or be destroyed. The pirate leader laughed over the radio. 1 ship against 20? You must be crazy, human. I'm not crazy. I'm just really angry. The Guardian opened fire. Its weapons had been designed to fight the Zephyrian Empire. Against pirate ships, they were like hammers hitting eggs. The battle lasted 4 minutes. All 20 pirate ships were destroyed. None of the pirates survived. The message was broadcast across the galaxy. Medical convoys are protected by the full power of Earth's military. Attack them and die. After that, no one attacked human medical supplies again. Dr. Andrew Clark visited the Healing Light 2 during its stop at Earth Station 1. He was now the head of Earth's medical service. He wanted to see how the new ship was different from the old one. How do you feel about the escort ships? He asked Dr. White. They make the job easier, she replied. Patients trust us more when they know we're protected. They know that no one can stop us from helping them. Do you miss the old days? When we were purely peaceful. Karen thought about the question. We're still peaceful. We still help everyone who needs help. But now we're peaceful from a position of strength. That makes all the difference. The Crystalline Collective sent a delegation to Earth. They wanted to thank humanity for protecting their wounded during the war. Ambassador Kef led the delegation. Your people saved our soldiers, she told President Hayes. Even when your own ship was under attack, your doctors kept working to save our people. That's who we are, the president replied. We heal anyone who needs healing. But you also destroyed an entire empire to protect that mission. Yes, and we'll do it again if necessary. The galaxy had learned to live with this new reality. Humans were still the healers they had always been. But they were also the most powerful military force in known space, species that had ignored. Human medical ships now requested them specifically. They knew that when human doctors came, they brought the best medical care in the galaxy. And they brought protection that no one dared challenge. A year after the war, the Galactic Council passed the Hospital Ship Protection Act. It made attacking a medical ship a crime against all civilized species. The punishment was simple, complete destruction. But everyone knew the real protection didn't come from laws. It came from the knowledge that Earth was watching. And Earth remembered what happened to the first healing light. The new hospital ships sailed through space, their white hulls shining in the starlight. The red crosses on their sides told everyone who saw them that help was coming. But the escort ships flying beside them told a different story. They said that mercy and strength could exist together. They said that the gentlest people could also be the most dangerous. They said that if you attacked those who heal, you would face those who destroy. The galaxy was safer now. Medical ships from all species traveled freely, knowing they were protected by human power. Refugees received aid without fear. The sick and wounded were treated without question. Captain Julie Adams stood on the bridge of the healing light too, as it approached another system in need. Around her, escort ships maintained their protective formation. In the medical bays below, doctors and nurses prepared to save lives. "Captain," Danny Walsh reported, "we're receiving thanks from 17 different species for the medical aid we provided last month." Julie smiled. "Tell them they're welcome, and remind them that we're always ready to help." She looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, other hospital ships were doing the same work, saving lives, healing wounds, bringing hope to those who had none. And protecting it all was the memory of what happened when someone thought mercy was weakness. The memory of the UE's healing light, the memory of 847 medical workers who died doing what they believed was right. The galaxy would never forget, and Earth would never forgive. The red cross on a white background had become the most respected symbol in the galaxy, not just because it represented healing, but because it represented the terrible price of preventing that healing. Humanity had returned to its role as the galaxy's doctors. But now everyone understood that the hand that heals can also be the hand that destroys. And sometimes that was exactly what the galaxy needed to know.